Dragon is happy to stay in WuDang. In fact, he's thinking of staying forever.
When I grow up, I want to be a monk and be a keeper of the Taoist temple. As for my martial arts, I just want to stay in the temple and continue practicing.
It's a big decision for a teenager to make. And as an only son, it's not one likely to make his father happy. By becoming a monk, Dutiful Dragon may well become the 15th link in a chain of WuDang masters going back 15 generations. But it also means that his own family tree will die out with him, because the Taoist monks of WuDang are celibate. Others have faced the same choice. Madame Li has been a Taoist nun and celibate since her teens. She doesn't regret not having a family. She has been single-minded in her devotion. Her path, her Tao, has been here in WuDang. Taoism is an ancient Chinese philosophy. It is based on the writings of the sage Lao Tzu. It says that each person must find their own way, their own path to fulfillment.
Be persistent and determined. Be devoted to Tao.
From the time she first arrived in WuDang as a teenager, Madame Li's entire life has been spent on these mountain slopes. First she was a nun, then a priestess. Today, she is the head of one of WuDang's most important temples. In addition to being famous for her skills in Tai Chi and for her longevity, she is legendary in WuDang for her great compassion. She is philosophical about its great cost.
Without bitterness, one will never know sweetness.
When Madame Li was born, China was still the Celestial Empire, and an emperor still sat on the dragon throne. She was already 12 when the last emperor was toppled from that throne. Like Jade Dragon, Madame Li had a hard childhood. When she was 6, she was sold to another family as a child bride. While growing up, she was repeatedly beaten and abused by her husband's family. When she was 14, against her family's wishes, she snuck off to Mount WuDang. There, underneath a cypress tree, she found her Tao, her way, and decided to become a nun. Today, that tree is a place of adoration for Madame Li's disciples.
Mistress Li teaches us to be persistent and sincere. One must persevere at all times.
During the 1950s, following the Chinese Communist Revolution, the People's Republic launched new measures to fight feudalism and superstition. The monks and nuns of Mount WuDang were ordered to renounce their religion. At that time, the Liberation Army tried to force Madame Li and her apprentices to leave their temple. In spite of their cruel beatings, Madame Li remained steadfast, protecting her apprentices. In protest, she went on hunger strike, kneeling for days within the temple itself, swearing never to leave.
They caught her. She was dragged on the ground for several miles. Her back was seriously hurt and bled profusely. At that time, they wanted to execute her. You can see now her back is marked with the thick and hardened scars of her ordeal, but she never yielded.
Madame Li persevered. Her belief was strong. It needed to be. A foe more fearsome than an army was about to come knocking. The founder of Taoism, Lao Tzu, said that we must be merciful and compassionate to others. Madame Li has spent her life putting his words into action. In 1960, there was a great famine. Millions of people starved. At a nearby noodle factory, Madame Li spent each day picking up scraps of noodle thrown away by the factory, saving them to feed the hungry.
I found dirty scraps of noodles in the sewers of the factory. I would take as many as I could, wash them to make them edible, and then distribute them to nearby families. I never kept even one for myself.
Madame Li's path to Tao has been lonely and tough. Only her faith guided her through long years of hardship. Jade Dragon and Madame Li are both from the same village. But their paths couldn't be more different. For Jade Dragon, Kung Fu has been the easy part. But she has yet to find her path.
I have an adopted mother, sister, and brother. I hate my adoptive father. I want to kill him. He often beats me. I want to hit him every time I see him with my mother.
Although Jade Dragon's adoptive mother loves her very much, her adoptive father treats her very badly. To save her from abuse, her mother sent her to Mount WuDang to learn Kung Fu.
My real papa's not there. It's very tough. Our master always punishes us. We have scars all over our bodies. When he punishes us, we can't help crying.
Small girl, big decision. When practicing Kung Fu, Jade Dragon is serious and intent on her task. Although she loves Kung Fu, at only 10, what she wants most of all is her mother by her side. The road to martial arts is lonely, tough, and never-ending. At such a tender age, it's difficult to be so far from home. Dawn. A new day. Mount WuDang wakes, calling the disciples of Tao to its heart, there to find their way. On the golden summit of Mount WuDang, disciples practice their martial arts as they have countless times before. Day after day, season after season, year after year, in timeless ritual. This morning, there will be one less dragon on Mount WuDang. Jade Dragon chooses to leave. Yin, Yang, longevity, Tao, all that can wait. For now, all she wants is her mother. With her sword for protection, this dragon heads for home and for whatever path lies ahead.